Podcast of Book Club, the next chapter with Jane Fonda, Candice Bergen, Diane, Keaton, and Mary Steenburgen. So we're gonna go through some of our personal book club picks in a moment. But first, do y'all prefer fiction or nonfiction? Like, what's your preference usually?
Nonfiction.
Nonfiction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel life is so short and there's so much to learn, so I'm on nonfiction, Kyle.
What about you, Candice?
I agree, nonfiction.
Okay.
But Mary put me onto a fiction book that I loved. What was it? A Russian?
Oh, A Gentleman in Moscow by Emma
Moscow.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a great read.
I loved that book, and I actually got to meet him because I kind of fangirled out and
I love that.
Wanted to meet him, and he's wonderful. Yeah, he's a great writer.
So do you generally gravitate towards fiction or nonfiction?
Well, I read nonfiction because Jane sends me books and tells me this is good and you should read this.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to keep up with a Jane Fonda reading list. But when I go buy books, it's usually fiction.
Yeah,
I love stories, you know.
I love escapism in that sense too. It's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah. What about you, Diane? What do you generally float towards?
Yeah, Diane, that's
Diane,
you.
that's you. That's your
She's
name.
busy writing them.
No, I love visuals. I like books with like lots of beautiful images, and I'm addicted to that, and I have a lot of it. So if you want to come to my house and look at my pictures.
Oh, say yes to that.
And our library is black and white.
That's so.
All the books are rather black and white, right?
Oh, really? Like
No,
you've
they're not
rewrapped
all
them?
black and white. No,
Oh,
it's
I
not
was
quite
like-
that bad, but I like it. No.
It's so true. I worked with this photographer, Brian Bowen Smith, and he had a book, and literally the pictures tell such a story, and it's so cool, and how you capture like people, like the story in their eyes, like their movement, anything like slight like that is so moving. I agree. Nobody usually answers with that. That's nice. Well, we asked you before the show about books that you'd pick as your own book club selection. So let's start with Mary. Mary, you picked A Gentleman in Moscow.
A Gentleman in Moscow. It was. I also, if I go back, I loved books like Cry the Beloved Country, and I was glad to be able to read that in school.
That's awesome. Okay, I love that book. What about you, Diane? What did you choose?
You did me. Move on.
No. Did you not pick a book? You picked a picture one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
I'm not sure that counts.
Well, if it doesn't count, it's okay.
It's okay. We'll move
all
on. Candice,
fine.
what about you?
Me, I would pick Passage to India.
Okay, right on. Why do you love that so much? Why would you recommend it?
Because I love the feeling of the dust and the schmutz and that you get to know India and these incredible characters, and that it's beautifully written.
Great.
And
Seems descriptive. Yeah, that's nice. What about you? Like, what's your book you're picking?
Well, it so happens I like the book I wrote most
love you.
recently. I've written a number of books.
I love it. Oh, this is an important one.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
You
can
see,
I do?
I was very depressed because what's happening to the planet with the climate crisis.
Yeah.
And so I went to D.C. and got arrested a bunch of times and
Good for you. Good for you.
turned 82 in jail. And
Did you really?
Yeah.
You're my hero.
I figured that if I could turn 82 in jail, a lot of people would say, well, God, if she could do it, I'm gonna try. We've got to move from being concerned about climate to taking action about climate. We're running out of time. Yeah. And so I wrote this book.
I love it.
Describing how, hope is so interesting. It's very different than optimism. Optimism's, everything's gonna be okay, but you don't do anything to make it so. Hope is like action with its sleeve rolled up.
Powerful.
Hope is, Greta Thunberg said something great. Don't go looking for hope, look for action, and hope will be there.
Yeah.
And that's what this book is about.
Wow, what a great line. Yeah.
It's called What Can I Do? My Path from Climate Despair to Action.
Yay.
I encourage everybody.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's
can't
very
wait. I wanna
good,
do
easy read and full of information about what to do.
All right, I like it. So Mary, you mentioned A Gentleman in Moscow. So what do you love about it, though? Why did you recommend the book? Why do you recommend it for people?
Well, I guess because of what we do for a living, I love the creation of characters, and he just created such a totally unique character in a unique world, and it was a story I'd never heard anything like it before.
Fresh, yeah.
Very magical book. I just did want to say about Jane's book, the thing I love about that is big and small things, including things nobody had ever said before that you can do for the climate, like in terms of what you invest in and what, and banking and everything else. It's such a brilliant book about what you as a person can do.
Thank you, Mary.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's helpful. That's what's great about it. All right, everybody, book club. The next chapter is in theaters on May 12th. And Focus
Director's
features
right there.
Director's right there. And Focus Features is giving everyone in the audience a pair of tickets to go see the movie. So like I said earlier, last year I launched a new initiative. It's called Stranger Reads. We are inviting everyone to step outside our reading preferences and discover books we'd otherwise never pick up. Often these book recommendations come from total strangers. It's happened to me multiple times, and I've loved every book. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever seen somebody reading something and they're so into it, and you're like, what are you reading? I've done that a lot. Have you never done that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Candice. The last time we did Stranger Reads, my recommendation came from Nobel Prize-winning humanitarian Malala Yousafzai, of all people. It was incredible. Check this out. Malala, I was curious if you wanted to share a book with me, and I would share one of my favorites with you today.
Of course, I would love to share a book with you. Last year, my literary book club had this memoir called Aftershocks by a debut author, Nadia Oyusu. And she is abandoned by her mother at age 2 and orphaned by her, when her father dies at age 13. And this is about how this young woman has to create her own home and her own place in the world, and the strength and courage it takes to do that. And I think it would really resonate with you and all your viewers, Kelly. So I hope you would enjoy that.
Oh, I love it. She's so cool, y'all. Now I have another book I want to recommend. It's called Genius of Place. It's the life of Frederick Law Olmsted by Justin Martin. I love this book. I actually was reading a fiction book, and with my mother, we were reading this series, and it was fictional, but it had historical characters in it. And so I Googled this person because of this fiction book I was reading, Serafina and the Twisted Staff, something like that. And it led me down this whole path because I have a ranch and I love land. I think we should leave most of it alone and as much as possible. But so he's known as the father of landscape architecture. And he's also known for Central Park. Most of the major parks here. But also, even more importantly, the Vanderbilts, several wealthier people back then, he was the leader of why we have national parks, which is incredible. Because I think what's so important about Central Park that you just brought up is, the thing I love about learning is it was very cool because in the time it was all for the wealthy, right? It was all for the higher ups. They got to enjoy these beautiful parks or gardens or things. And his whole goal, and he won a contest with this other French architect to actually, I'm giving you the whole book right now. But anyway, he won this contest and it was so cool because he wanted it to be for everyone. It was for all walks of people, all walks of life, all culture. Which is pretty progressive thinking, at the time, because most of the people paying for it were the wealthier people. So it's just really cool. And I thought you can learn a lot from someone that you don't know, but had such a well-lived life and had all these different journeys to get to being this huge person for us.
Did you see the documentary about him?
I haven't, but I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it yet, but I want to.
I made a movie in Connecticut once, and I used to run in those days, and I was running in a park, and I could tell by the way the park was designed. I said, Olmsted designed this, and I was right. Yeah, you can tell.
It's very innovative.
Yeah.
I just think it's incredible how people's minds think like that artistically. Mine does not. But now let's get to the books from our audience. Everyone brought something they cherish and want to pass on. Caitlin has a recommendation. Caitlin, what's your book?
I brought The Courage to be Disliked, which when you talked about your 20s being rough, I had some rough 20s. And this book really, it's about freeing yourself from the judgment of others and freeing yourself from the judgment of yourself. I'm going to be 35 this year. I'm getting married. I just started a new job. And I feel like this book was a complete 180 for me in order to find my own happiness within myself. So I recommend it to
Congratulations on all the freshness in your life.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we also have Tamika. So Tamika, what's your book?
Is The Secret Lives of Church Ladies by Disha Filial. And I'm a general manager at a Black-owned bookstore in Los Angeles called Reparations Club. And this was definitely one of our best sellers. It deals with the interior lives of Black women and femmes around the church. And you don't have to be an avid churchgoer in order to get into it because it really deals with the morality and some of the double standards that exist when we apply them to our like real lives. There is some comedy in here. There are intergenerational conversations happening. There is desire. There's queerness. And it's just an amazing, it's a beautiful, beautiful book. It gives honor to the Black church and the role that it plays in the Black community while also interrogating it deeply and how it sometimes contradicts with the ways in which we show up. And I deeply recommend it to everyone.
Wow, yeah. Great job, you guys. Well, have either of you read each other's books? Have either of you read those?
No.
Are you willing to switch and try it out? I like it. I like it. Well, let's go ahead. They're swapped. They're going to switch books. And now, everyone, it's time to switch books. So turn to someone near you. If you haven't read the book that they're holding, everybody has to exchange books. I don't care who it's with. But read a different book. And even if you think you won't find it interesting, I see Shel Silverstein up there. That's amazing. Is that where the sidewalk ends? I love that. Y'all picked that. So much more reading for us all to do, and I love it. To be part of our Stranger Reads campaign and exchange your favorite book titles with others, just head to our show's Insta story right now. You're welcome in advance.